Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And I finally came out with my new video, Python Lessons Part 3. This is one of the ones in my series, and you can watch you can go look at the other videos in the series in my channel. So without any further ado, let's begin. So what we'll be learning today is we'll first be learning how to draw with turtles. And turtles are like a turtle is like a library in Python that you can use to draw. And I'll get into that later. And next we have conditional constructs. Conditional constructs, an easier word to say that would be like um conditional statements. So I'm going to teach you the syntax of these conditional statements and the variations. And for both of these, for turtles and these conditional statements, I'm going to give you a few practice problems to work on your own. So let's get started. And before we do, if you would like to learn more about Python with me, you can join me on on our journey to master Python. So let's get started. So first off, to draw with turtles, first we need to import the turtle library. So let's go to the library. Here, let's say if you open terminal, this should be on Mac and I'm pretty sure Windows. So if you just type in Python because we're using Python, and you type in Python 3 because that's the latest version, and you don't want the older 2.7 version. So if you type Python 3, you'll get these three greater than signs pointing to where you have to type. So now you have to say import turtle. What this does is because turtle is a library, it brings in all of the contents from turtle and it makes them ready for use at your disposal. Basically, like it's letting you it's in Python, basically there's you can import some code and it just and you can use it. So if we import turtle, we basically want to use a canvas and we want a plain canvas with a pen that we can move around. So to do that, it's turtle, because that's the library, dot pen. Dot is to signify that we're gonna use a function, and pen is the function we're gonna use. So we're basically turtle.pen is basically like creating a canvas for you and gives you a pen that you can start writing. So you can't just type this alone. You have to you have to make something this because the pen has to be named something. So we'll name the pen T. We can name it almost anything that is valid. So like you can name it Gerald. You can name it anything. So I'm gonna name it T just to keep it simple. So once you do this, it should pop up a little it should pop up a larger white window that has an arrow in the middle. That arrow is your turtle. So that is how you import the library and you open it. So once you open it, you can start moving the turtle. So there are a few things. You can move the turtle left, you can move it right, you can make it move forward, and you can make it move backward. And yeah. So those are the basic ones. So you can't just do it right here. You have to go back to your window, your Python window, and you have to say T dot, because the T is the turtle pen, and there's another function to that. T dot for let's say forward. The forward is the most basic one. And you see, when we're creating the function turtle.pen, the pen function has parentheses around it, and that is because the parentheses in front of it. So that's because um any function may require parameters. So for the computer to know that's a function, we have to put parentheses around it. No, we have to put parentheses a set of parentheses in front of it, because even though it requires no parameters, and even if it does, we have to enter them. So the parameter for forward is the amount of pixels you want to move forward. So let's say you want to move 100 pixels forward. If you type this in, then you can see on your screen that it moved 100 pixels. Okay? Now let's say we want to move left. T.left. This basically means if we're in this direction going this way, we want to turn left, which is going up. So, T.left, let's say you want to go 90 degrees. Let's say we're going to make a square eventually. We turn 90 degrees. And now we're facing up because it's a line and up. Okay. So then T.forward, forward, instead of that, you can use the up arrow key if you're on terminal to bring back your previous things. So if you move it up, I get T.left, and if I move it up again, I got T.forward. If this doesn't work for you, you can just type it in again. So T.forward 100. If we do that, it moves up. So we're making a square basically. So if we move left again, oh wait, if we move left again, this still moved left. I just made a little mistake. Um, it, um, we still moved left, so we can see that here, and then we move forward again. Okay. Then we move left again. Oh, which gets us here, and we just have to go one final way down, and then we're done. Forward. Using this code forward, left, forward, left, forward, left, forward, we will get a square. And if you want to make it look better, just move it left again, slightly, just 90 degrees. It'll look like this. So you can see the square. So now we made the square. Now we completed left, right, and forward. Oh, wait, no. We can also move, let's say, on this square, you would like to make a second square underneath this square we have. So to do that, you have to turn right, because if you're going this way, you want to go down. So if you want to go down from this position, you have to turn right. T.right, however many degrees you want it. Left, the parameter was degrees, and for forward, it was the amount of pixels. So if you do 90 again, you can do anything. Like for example, you can make it like 270 degree. T.right. T.right. Let's say you want to make it 37. That's just, then it'll move it from the position you were in facing down. It'll move it 37 degrees to the right, which is this way, which is from here, it moves that way, 37 degrees. So, now, now, um, now let's say you want to move it forward. T.forward, T.forward 100 again. Okay, now we have it just popping out from the corner. Now let's say you want to move backward. Let's say you want to move backward 300. if you want to move, let's say you want to move back all the way up here, on that corner, you would move backward. And this is done with the words back and ward, backward. Then you move, let's say you want to do 300 and make like a cross in the square. Now we have done it. But it's not perfect because we went at a 37-degree angle, and it will if we did it at a 35-degree angle, that would have been better, or a 40-degree angle. But in this case, we are off slightly. So yeah, that's forward, backward, left, and right. Now there is something called a circle. You can create a circle on the turtle thing. So let's create, you just have to do t dot circle, which is a function. Now you have to tell it its radius. The radius basically means the distance from one side to the center. So let's say you want the radius to be 200. It's working on it, and it's making our center 200. And it's making the a circle with the radius of 200. That's kind of big, but we can make it another smaller circle inside of it. T dot circle, let's say 150. Then you get something like this. With it's creating a circle, we get something like that. Now let's make it 100. Now we're just going to keep making circles in that manner. T dot circle 50. We have our 50 circle. And then T dot circle 1. And we have a very tiny circle right there. Okay. Now we know what circle is. But to reset the entire canvas, because it's looking a little messy right now, you just have to do t dot reset, no parameters. So t dot reset, no parameters. And t, when I'm saying t, I'm basically saying your pen. So the name could be anything, like the name that you choose. I already said that in the beginning. So yeah. So we press t dot reset. It's perfectly the way it was. Now let's say you want to do fill color, or let's say you want to make your, let's say you want a circle, but you want to color it. So t dot circle, let's make it 100 because that's an average circle. Okay, we have a circle, but we want to color this. So t dot fill um So to do this, the end fill and to fill a color. So basically, let's t dot reset it with parentheses. Let's send all of the stuff up. Okay, now we have a reset. Perfect. So we have to say t dot fill color. It pre-decides black, but you can choose your color. I'm gonna choose black. I'm just gonna keep it black for now. So you have to right now t dot begin underscore fill. Then you say t dot circle, let's say 100. And now let's move on to here. And t dot end fill. Once you enter this, now the entire circle is black. Now, you can change this. to any color you want, but you have to put that in quotes. So T dot fill color is red. So we'll begin fill. We'll make a circle that has a radius of 200. Now let's move on there. Now we have that, and T dot end fill. This will override the black. So now it's filled red. So you can do this for anything. So T dot reset. Oh, boom, reset. Now we have it cleared. T dot fill color. Let's say we want it orange. Okay. The fill color is orange. T dot begin fill. Okay. Let us make a square again. So we know the code for that. T dot forward 100. T dot left 90. And you just okay. Now we have our square, and we can end fill now. After we end fill, now we have an orange square. That's how to use fill color. Now, now we're gonna use up and down. So basically, let's make a square again. Is that a square? Yes, that's a square. Now we have a square. Looking at our square, let's say we want to make a second square 100 pixels to the right. So I'm right meaning like the right you can see, not the turtle's right. So to do this, you have to and in the 100 let's make it 100 pixels away. So you have to travel 100 pixels, and you have to skip 100 pixels, and you have to stop at the start of the next 100 pixels. So to do this, and you don't want to make a mark on the when you're moving, you have to say T dot up. T dot up will lift you from the canvas, so you won't be writing anymore. You don't see a change, but that's after you let's start moving. T dot forward 100. Now it's at the very end. Now let's say we want to move 100 again. Now it hasn't made a single mark, and it's 100. Now let's say you want to start drawing again. T dot down, and no parameters for either one of these. And now you have that. Now we're down. Now we can start making our next square. Forward, that brings us to this, and now we can start making our square. Left. Now we have our two squares in existence. And let's say we want to make this a face. We can move it right, because if you see here, we want to move down because the eyes are those. So let's move down, and let's say we want to move forward. Just imagine this in your brain. And T dot, because if it went right, we want to move right one more time. Forward, T dot circle with a radius of 50. And let's see what this brought us. Oh, I guess that's a nose. It's a face now. Yay. I didn't make it go up. Okay. So now we have a face. It works. Perfect. So learning up and down is necessary. And then yeah, that's all for now. For turtles. So T.reset will reset the canvas. Now I have some turtle problems for you. So the first problem is a pitchfork. So it's like a trident, another word for it. So you can see in the picture the image. So then we have the no corner box. Of course this uses ups and downs, but yeah. Oh wait. This you can't see the cut pie, but I'm going to show you on here. T dot circle, basically it's a pie. So let's first make a pie. A big pie, 200. So I'm saying with this pie, I'm saying cut it into 4 slices. So start from the top and slice down, and start from the side and slice through. So then you would get 4 even slices. So try to get this and then show your answers in the comments. Now we'll move on to conditional statements. Let's exit this real quick. Quit. Now our with this our turtle shell will be gone. And yeah. So now we'll refresh Python 3. Okay. We're ready for conditional statements. So a conditional statement basically checks to see if a condition is true or false. If it's true, it might do something. You can choose to do something. But if it's false, you might be able to do something depending on the type of if conditional statement you're using. So these are the conditional keywords. So keywords are like words that are like that you cannot use for naming something. For example, like our turtle, you can't name our turtle if, or you can't name our turtle else. So that's a keyword. So the keywords are if, elif, which is else and if together, elif, and else. So if, elif, else are 3 keywords. So now the for the conditional statement, you need the first bit, a condition. So conditions basically are like the thing you're checking to see if it's true or false. So you're checking. So there are numerical conditions, like if a number is greater than or less than or something like that, to another number, relation to another number. So there's less than, there's greater than, there's greater than, less than or equal to, there's greater than or equal to. And if you want to say if this is equal to something else, you can use you have to use 2 equals to signs, because a single equals to signs, a sign is a one equal sign basically is assigning a value. But here you're checking the value, not assigning it. So and then finally it's not equal to. Not is basically exclamation mark, and that's the way it's supposed to be written. So then there's strings. These are not these are like adding, or like, so like multiplication or addition. Let's say for example if 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, do this. And or 1 times 1, if 1 times 1 is equal to 1, do this. So now we're going to create a condition on our own. Oh, there's also Boolean. Boolean is if true, which will always be true. If true is true. So, and if false is always false. So Booleans are basically true or false. You can choose. True is a false Boolean, and false is a Boolean. And or an and I'll get into. So how to make a condition? So let's start. First, you have to identify what you want to compare, or let's say, for example, let's take if let's make a variable right now. Let's say um let's say um should new video new underscore video is equal to true. True is a boolean, so we're gonna start off with booleans now. So now you have to type if, the keyword if, new video, which is my variable. You don't have to do that, but this is an example. So if my new video is equal to true, which it is, and you have to put a colon at the end, because that's what you're about to do if that's true. So if you press enter, you have to press tab. There has to be an indent, and these spaces are to know that this code is into this block. A block is basically like your if statement starts a block, and yeah, and you want to put some code into the block. So let's say if new video is equal to true, I love video is equal to true. Okay. And now let's say you want to exit this, enter. Now if you say print I love video, it'll give you true. And trues are booleans. So if true has to be with a capital, by the way. Has to be T has to be capitalized. If true, print hi. And this will always print hi no matter how many times you do it. And let's say if you make it if false with a capital, if false, oh wait, no, if false and print hi, it won't because it's false. So yeah. Now we'll move back onto here. That is how you, basically that's how you make a condition. You identify what you want to compare, which is if a new video is equal to true, and then you add an action. So the action is basically do something, which is I love video is equal to true. And example is equal, and this is our example I just made here. It's if name is Bhargava, which is true, print hello Bhargava, which it will print hello. So now there's multiple types of if statements. There's if else, and something like that. What we just did is if condition, do something, whatever you want. So it's an indentation, a block of, and there's an indentation there with the do somethings, and the section of code is there. For example, are you subscribed? If subscribed is equal to true, do this. Yeah, okay. Now here's the flowchart for if. So at first, this is the if condition right here. This is the if condition. If this is if false, does nothing and moves on to the next statement. But if it's true, it executes the things in the block, the things you want it to do. So now that's one type. Now we have if else. So the syntax is the same as before, but you have to add something onto this. So if condition is equal to true, so if the condition is true, do this. Else, you're adding an otherwise. If otherwise this is not true, do this instead. For example, you have to be a specific age to tell a joke. So let's say let's say our age. What's our age? 10. No, we're just gonna make it random. Let's say 35. we're just gonna make it that right now. So if our age is 35, if age is greater than or equal to 18, print you cannot tell a joke. Okay? And else, otherwise, anything else. Otherwise, print tell me a joke. It's going to say you cannot tell a joke, obviously, because you are greater than 18. So let's say you're greater than 18, you cannot tell a joke. It prints that. It doesn't just go on to the else. It skips the else because that if was true. So it doesn't need to go into the otherwise. But if the if was false, then else would it would print tell me a joke. That would only happen if age was less than 18. So yeah. Here is the a flowchart. So first, if age is greater than 18, if the age is greater than 18, you can vote. Obvious. That's how the rules are in the USA. So if you can you have to be above the age of 18. I mean the above the age of 17 to vote. If it's so that's if it's true, you can vote. So you have to it prints you can vote. Let's say you're less than 17. Then print which is the false section, which is this is the true section and this is the false. So false, which is F, if false, display you cannot vote and continue to the next block if there is one. Now there's another topic. It's called the nested if statement. So this nested if statement the nested if statement, the syntax is if condition in the block. There's for the you create a block if condition, then you do something, but in that same block you add an if condition inside of it, and then in that if condition you do this. Otherwise you can otherwise do this, and inside the else you can also have an if condition, which is also considered an if nested if statement. Another example is, let's say there's an if statement here. There's an if statement here, up here, this one, if age is greater than 18, but inside of that there's an if again inside, and it has an if else in pair inside. So it's an if else, else. So basically it does that. So right now it's choose an age, any age. Let's, for example, take 15. Let's say you're 15. Let's see if you can participate in the survey. If age is greater than 18, which it's not, it just it goes to the otherwise at the very bottom. Don't confuse yourself and go to the else here. Go to the else in the same line, the same block. Else you cannot participate. But let's say our age is 19. If age is equal to 18, no, if age is greater than 18, which it is, and which it is, so it goes into this if else. If age is equal to 18, you can participate. If otherwise, you cannot participate. No, you can participate either way. So if you're greater than 18. So if we're 19 and we're not equal to 18, it skips it. So here's a nested if flowchart. If true, the if block, if it runs, and it goes false, it goes to an else and it ends from here. If it's true, it goes to the second if block, the inner if block. And if it's false, do something. If it's true, do something. So it's an if and else pair inside of an if and else block. Now we have if, elif, else. So this is basically something else. This is elif is basically a second if condition, but it's not inside the if condition. So if there's if and else in a block, elif can go in between, which is otherwise if this condition. Because in else you don't get to choose a condition. It's any other possible case. So for example, what shape are you thinking of? So if a shape has 4 sides, let's say a print, it's a square or a rectangle or something like that. Otherwise, if it has 3 sides, print it's a triangle or something like that. And otherwise, if it has greater than 4 sides, then do something else. So that's how it works. Elif basically has a second, an extra condition that you can add instead of making a new block by saying if, and it's in the same block. So here's the if, elif, else flowchart. So we start, we have our if down. If it's true, do something, and we end it. Let's say we put it in the false section this time. If false, we have an elif here. Yeah, we have an elif here. Basically, what happened was, if this is true, do this and skip all of these two. If something's true, we skip. So if the top one is true, if the first if statement is true, does something and ends, like it skips all of the if and el. So if it's false, it goes to the elif. If the elif is true and it does something and ends. But if it's false again, it moves on to the else. So whatever else happens, it does something. So now here's some if and else problems for you guys. You guys can review this video. Let me move the camera so you can see the rest of the question. Right there. So, yeah. So these are some problems. You can pause and check all of these problems. Thanks for that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to post your answers in the comments so I can review them and hit a thumbs up to your comment. See you next week.